I've been fascinated with bridges for many, many years. I am just amazed at bridges that cross over railway lines, bridges that cross over rivers, bridges that connect one part of town to another. I think of the Nelson Mandela Bridge in downtown Johannesburg, or the Storms River Bridge in the Eastern Cape here in my country, South Africa. I think of bridges overseas. There's the London Bridge, there's the San Francisco Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge in the US, and what about the bridge over Sydney Harbour? And so, friends, wherever you are in the world right now, you would have discovered bridges just in the area that you live in, or in your city, or in your country. But what I find about bridges is that there's something fascinating about the way they are constructed. And as I look closely at some of those principles that engineers share with us about bridges, I find that there are some great lessons for you and I who are continually engaging with people. People that come into our team, people that are part of our community, people that are maybe outside of our community as well. And as we look at the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, we see the example of Jesus, our ultimate bridge builder. Or as Paul puts it, those busy reconciling man to God, and then has given us the ministry of reconciliation. And so today, in these few moments, I want to share with you some of those bridge building principles. I want to draw your attention to John chapter 4, a great passage that is in the Gospel of John that reminds us of how Jesus did this work of bridge building. And then maybe share a challenge or two for those of us who are evangelists today. And so let's look at those three principles that engineers share with us. Number one, they say that we must clear away the obstacles. We have to clear away these obstacles. Number two, they say that we need to begin simultaneous construction. And number three, and the most crucial in many ways, is that we need to have the correct keystone in place. And so many of us will know John chapter 4. We know the story of Jesus who's sitting at a well in the middle of a town called Sychar in Samaria. And as he is sitting at this well, tired after a long journey with his disciples, a woman comes to draw water at that well. And there's this engagement between Jesus and the woman. There's this dialogue between the two of them. And for millennia, you and I have gleaned some important lessons from that dialogue. But I think what Jesus was doing in that engaging with the woman from Samaria is he's teaching us some important lessons. How you and I need to work together, live together, worship together, and grow together. And so let's look at it. Firstly, Jesus clears away the obstacles. There are these such big obstacles between Jesus and the woman. There's the one that is kind of very, very stark right at the beginning, the difference between race. She says, you're Jewish and I'm a Samaritan. I'm female, you are male. I have been instructed to worship on this mountain that our forefather Jacob gave to us and set up this well. You Jews say we must worship in Jerusalem. And in each one of her obstacles or divisions or barriers, Jesus responds in such a kind and in such a loving way. He says to her, the time has come where we'll worship neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. In fact, we'll worship in spirit and in truth. And then he goes a little bit further. He says, hey, can I get a drink of water? Can I drink with the same utensil that you're drinking in? You see, friends, in that moment, what Jesus is doing is powerful as he shifts to the second key component, and that is to build simultaneously. No one ever begins the construction of a bridge only building from point A. No, you see, friends, what they teach us is that we need to build from point A and point B and build towards each other. Simultaneous construction. And so I want to encourage you to do that, to get to know about the other. He says to go call your husband, go and, let me hear your story. Jesus is saying. There was a movie here in South Africa a few years ago where the young man in the story makes this powerful comment. He says, you may know my name, but do you know my story? And I think for those of us who are reaching out to people, who are building bridges to the lost, to the least, to the last, the lonely, friends, we need to be taking a moment to hear the story of the other. We need to be leaning in to understand, to know who they are and what they're about. Get to know their religion if they're from a different religion. Get to know their upbringing. Get to know what it is that they need. You see, the woman comes to Jesus and she says, Lord, give me that water so I may never come here again. Living water, she was requesting. But Jesus looked beyond the felt need. He saw the real need. And he began this bridge building process. And so, friends, I want to encourage us. May we clear away obstacles. May we build in terms of simultaneous construction. And then thirdly, may we always focus on the correct keystone. May we always bring people back to Jesus. You see, there's so many differences. There's the gender, there's the race, there's religion, there's nationality, ethnicity. And our world for so long has been dividing us on the basis of those differences. But friends, I want you to remember, different is not wrong. Different is not wrong. And so when I look at another, when I look at someone who is different to me, I need to see them the way God sees them. I need to pray and say, Father, will you allow me to see them the way you see them? You see them as loved. You see them as forgiven. You see them as significant, special, unique. You see us, all of us, as the beloved. And so, friends, there are things that we need to be looking at. We need to be making ourselves aware of what are those obstacles we need to remove. We need to be engaging in simultaneous construction, and we need to be doing it passionately. And then thirdly, may we always focus on the keystone. You see, when you're building that bridge and you've started the first process of clear away the obstacles, you've engaged in number two, the simultaneous construction, and you get to a certain point, and it is that which is the keystone in a bridge. It is right there at the middle where those 2 points, point A, point B, meet. That is the keystone. And that's what I believe Jesus is to you and to me. And to the world out there, he is the keystone. The Bible says in Peter, behold, the capstone that the builders have rejected has become the cornerstone, has become that keystone. And so for you and I today, wherever you may be, whatever ministry you may be engaging in, may I invite you to build bridges, to become a bridge builder that will be continually clearing away the obstacles between us and them, beginning to engage in simultaneous construction, and then always focus on the keystone that is Christ. The Bible says if we lift him up, he will draw all men unto him. And so, friends, will you take up that challenge with me today? Will you become a bridge builder